Emmanuel Chematin Jako is Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon, Kwabna Minta Kando, Member of Parliament for Joboso. They are my guests on AM Talk this morning. Gentlemen, good morning. Many thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Okay, so we'll be starting off, obviously, with that very topical issue. It's been topical since yesterday. It has to do with Reverend Professor Marty, former presby moderator, suggesting that politicians have been attempting to bribe him, insisting that some amount of $100,000 was given to him, in addition to a promise of a house in Trasaco if he chooses to remain silent on a number of issues. Let me start off with you. We know this presby moderator has been pretty hard on the NDC. For anyone to want him to shut up, I mean, drawing the lines could suggest that the NDC, you attempted bribing him with what, $100,000?
If I had my own way, let me say good morning to viewers. If I had my own way, I would have loved not even to comment or discuss issues about Professor Marty. And for me, I do not understand why this old professor is doing this to himself, especially at his retirement age. And you know, one thing has become clear in all his outbursts, that now he's putting the cassock away and to enter into the partisan political arena. It's quite disheartening as a Christian if you have somebody like Professor Marty, who has been bishop and all that. It becomes extremely difficult for you as a Christian to criticize him. And you know, this attempt to describe people who defend themselves after he has insulted those people as people with sharp teeth is unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate. You know, it is not by coincidence, it's not for nothing that our priests, our pastors must tread cautiously when it comes to partisan political activities. Because every church constitutes, all manner of political party members. And so, quite obviously, you would agree with me that there are NDC members in the presby. And you agree with me that they are highly uncomfortable about the behavior of this gentleman.
If you say the behavior of this gentleman, is that to suggest that he's been pushing the agenda of a particular party?
Of course. Name them. That at a point in time, he was even screaming on top of his voice, that the people at the helms of affairs are not wise, and that he was calling for where the Anyansafo are.
If at the time, what statements he was making was a truth or a reality, is there any wrong in that?
Look, assuming without admitting, let me even put the issue of whether or not it is true. You know, if you are a priest or a pastor, you must behave in a certain manner.
It should be measured in
your statement. You should be embracing. You should be loved by all. If you behave the way Professor Marty is behaving, you open yourself up for all manner of attacks. Because if you come attacking me, for example, he's calling people thieves.
I cannot, just a second. This is a leader. He leads a flock. Quite a number of people attend the Presbyterian church.
He's the only bishop in this country.
Just a second.
Is he the only pastor in this country?
So some of these people come to him with a lot of concerns, and he sits on the other side, looks at the situation on the ground, and if by the things he sees and gathers, there's a lot more that we could be doing as a country to enrich or better the lives of people. What is wrong with
you think that this is the best way of handling the issues because he's a pastor, because he's a priest, because he's a bishop, and people run to him to tell him their difficulties? That is the best way to go into the street insulting people as thieves? You think that's the best way to go? You know, the kind of things he's doing to himself are one, if you have heard it, somebody, the former PRO of...
You will be coming to that in a bit.
Exactly. So look at what is happening. He's not doing a disservice to himself.
So that's why you attempted bribing him?
Me?
$100,000 with a car?
Who has that sort of money?
And a house?
After all, Professor Marty has only one vote. He has only one vote. And we in the NDC, what we do for vote are development. And that is why you say we will come there. You know, interestingly, after making these pronouncements, somebody else has come out to say, look, let me set the record straight because I was part of this deal.
Okay. So, like I was saying, I don't want us to get into those quarters now.
And so I will humbly appeal to Professor Marty. If he wants his dignity to remain intact,
he should shut up.
This not shut up per se. This penchant, this strong hatred, this strong dislike for the NDC, I think that if he's able to massage it, it will be in his own interest.
He has not in any way suggested he dislikes the NDC or hates the NDC or detests the party.
People in the party as unwise, if you call people in the party as thieves,
we have had your own founder suggest that there are thieves in your party. Suggest that we have had Alban Suman Bagbin suggesting we do not have the right people advising the president. If the president,
you are talking about, you are missing the issues. You are talking about somebody who is in castle, somebody who leading congregation. These are politicians you are describing. I have my issues with the issues. Look, I'm coming. Let me land. You have raised the issue. Let me explain. I have my issues. I strongly disagree with anybody who would describe any member of the party as a chief or with any unpalatable words. But you see, if the person is in a particular state, be it MPP, NDC, I may have a way of reacting. Look, as I sit here, if I'm not very careful in reacting to him because he's in Kasok, I'll be seen to be attacking pastors. That's the difficulty. If NPP person come after me, I will speak to him the language he or she understands, and I'll defend myself. So, if he thinks that he wants to come and do politics, he should come on board, and then we all do the politics. But going behind the castle, using the castle hiding behind the castle
and doing the bidding of the NPP.
It's not helping anybody in this country.
I see.
It's not helping anybody. Look at the kind of ways that comes out of, in quote, a man of God.
Mr. Jaco, some are saying the NPP, you have put this man up to this. You are pushing him to do this. And let me now bring in that very statement that Mr. Kando was saying. There's been this gentleman who was with the Presbyterian Church. He was a former PRO. He has also now come out to say that, yes, indeed, it was the NPP that attempted bribing them.
To be fair to him, he didn't say NPP. He said a strong opposition party.
Okay. You see, we live in a country. Let me say good morning to viewers, most especially to my constituents. A very good morning to you all. I am grateful for your support. I am ever thankful for your votes. You have assured me that this year the turnout will be so massive in Ayawaso West Wogon.
Everybody chop on your website, I understand.
In Ayawaso West Wogon.
I understand.
What we say is the whole plane. You see, in this country, it is so funny. We have a political party that thinks that the Christian Council of Ghana is against them. They think that the Catholic Bishops Conference is against them. Recently, one of the very senior members of their party said that the president, he just happens to be the president of the Catholic Bishops Conference, should take down his cassock and come into the political fray. Just exact same words my friend and colleague Akanda used this morning. This party thinks that the Pentecostal and Charismatic Association is against them. This party thinks that Ghana Bar Association is against them.
But if they think people are being unfair to them, particularly the analysis,
if you allow my narration,
that's fine.
They think that UTAG is against them. They think that Nagrat is against them. They think that so every identifiable group in this country, they think that CROSAG is against them. Indeed, sometimes some of the chiefs, they even say, recently, in the course of the year, His Excellency the President went to, I think he was invited by the chiefs of Anglon. And then the chiefs were very frank with him. They oversee people. They are chiefs over human beings. They have a followership. They are not chiefs in vacuum. They are chiefs over people. One of the most revered traditional rulers in this country, the Awamafia of Anglo, said in no uncertain terms that Mr. President, yes, there may be some roads, there may be a hospital, but my people are suffering. The young men don't have work to do. The young women don't have work to do. And it leads to consequences that we don't like. His Excellency the President turned around and said, oh, don't mind them. It's the MPP people who are creating the problems.
So your point is the NDC tags everybody. And
my point
everybody
is that anybody who cuts it straight is criticizing us, and he is doing the bidding of the NPP. Anybody, Ghana Bar Association, UTAG, CLOSAG, traditional rulers, priests. So there's a Methodist minister. He used to be the Bishop of Obuasi. Look, I think that the church has a prophetic ministry to fulfill. The church has a responsibility. In the Bible, it is said that when the prophets didn't speak, then the people of God went astray. So if things are wrong, the man of God should not speak about it.
Well, some say it's the way and manner in which it goes about it. You can be decorous.
What has the man said?
In your delivery, and obviously,
what has the man said?
If you are an elder in society, you do not do certain things.
Use the words.
I don't believe that the man has insulted anyone. Why did he insult somebody?
Some would say that you can go to the president and give him the counsel you have. You don't necessarily need to always be in the media seeking to criticize him.
I don't think that. Recently, there was a big picture, and it was all over. That when His Excellency the President met him at a function, they embraced and they sat down and spoke and laughed. So what is the big deal? And as we sit here, how do we know what memo the Presbyterian Church or the Christian Council of Ghana has sent to? Do we know what? I think the Catholics call it encyclical. How many have they not sent out? There must be a voice in the wilderness telling us, the politicians. But you see, all I am saying is that this is a failing government. This is a government that the elders are saying they cannot find the mouth of the sack to put in the calabash. And because they are failing, anybody who stands up to speak to them is against them. And then they would always say that it is the NPP that is behind them. As if the learned professor, he was a professor in the University of Ghana. As if the learned professor does not know his left from his right. As if the most revered chiefs, like Tagwe Siri, the Awamafia of Bangla, does not, the people that he is chief over, he has no communication with them.
So now, as things stand now, there are two things going on.
Yeah.
One seeking to infer that, well, he's being offered money to shut up. And obviously it will be to the benefit of the NDC. Another seeking to infer that he's been given money to say these things.
Who said
to
that
put
one?
The
Who said that
put
one?
the NDC in a bad light.
Who said that one?
So that's a former PRO of the...
the word you must use is, he is a dismissed PRO of the Presbyterian.
So he remains a former PRO of the Presbyterian.
Yeah. I want
group.
for emphasis, I want to say that he is a dismissed staff of the...
Okay. So these are the two posturing.
For mischievous
so which of the,
clarity.
So which of the two parties? I mean, which of you is bribing him, and for what?
I think he has finished speaking. Can I speak now, or you are asking him?
He's still speaking.
Okay.
I am, for me.
In fact, the man says a very powerful opposition party offered him $50,000. The most powerful opposition party.
I say, you see, there is always, the elders have a saying that look at, it is not only the message which is important, the message is also very important. The messenger is also very important.
So you think it's not credible? We shouldn't.
Let us look at the messenger. let us juxtapose the moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana as against a dismissed staff of the church.
This gentleman is saying it's because you raised some of these issues, that's how come he was dismissed.
Oh, you see,
And if
I am
really that's
surprised.
the
I am a
case-
Presbyterian and a very proud one at that. Okay. I am surprised that the man can say that. I don't know how he worked as a PRO then. Because you see, you remember that when the NDC wanted to do away with the founder, Flight Lieutenant Rawlins, one of the very senior people said, now they want to move the church away from, there are some churches in this country which is one-man church. It is formed by one man, and make it like the Orthodox church, which is not owned by anybody. The Presbyterian church. In fact, that is where the word presbytery comes from. Okay. There is a system of governance, and that system of governance lies with the presbytery. In my local assembly in Westlands, it is the session, but it is not Osofo, Papa Osofo, who makes the decisions. It is session that makes the decisions. Indeed, when session has even made the decisions, it is not Papa Osofo who announces it. In the same way.
Let me give you an instance some few weeks ago where there were media reports suggesting that, or Reverend Mate again had come out suggesting that the Presbyterian Church was ready and willing to partner with the NPP and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for development.
Contextual. What was the context? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had gone to General Assembly in Abetifi. He had gone.
Okay.
And he had been offered a platform to speak. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had said that it is not if, it is not about if, it is when he becomes president, he will seek the help and partner the church to take this country in a new direction. He said, when he becomes president, these are the actions, and who will say that the church, and I even want to extend it, the faith-based organizations has not done for Ghana. Look at their input in education. Look at their input in health.
Okay.
Look at their input in the moral upbringing of this country.
To be fair to the NDC.
So he said,
to be fair to the NDC.
So the man goes and says that, I will seek your partnership.
To be fair to the NDC,
yes.
Assuming without admitting that I'm an interested party to something, and the both of you I know are contesting something, and you come to me and you speak on a platform I offer you, and then I go ahead to say I'm ready to partner you. What message does that send to the other?
So you see, if President John Dramani Mahama had found it expedient to go to the General Assembly and had said that in the unlikely event that he becomes president again, he will want to partner the church. There is no way the moderator would say, we won't partner you.
Well, that has not happened, so we don't know whether
contextual. Let us take it in context.
I can't let's hear you on this.
I am not surprised how my brother here is struggling to defend Professor Marty. I'm not surprised.
He's struggling?
Yes. You can all over, because what is not good is obviously not good. You cannot say a priest is insulting and that you have a means of defending him. You will struggle and struggle and struggle, but the good people who are listening to us will see that, look, no matter how, even if he wants to defend you or he wants to tow your life, he must do it properly. He must do it properly. The way a man.
So you don't have a problem. I mean, assuming without admitting that he's even doing the bidding of the NPP, you do not have a problem with it. The NDC doesn't have a problem with it. If your problem has to do with the way a manner
he's conducting himself, well, at the end of the day, he will go to the cubicle and vote. He will vote for a specific party, and obviously I know, and I'm clearly convinced that Professor Mate will never vote for the NDC anyway.
So what you're saying is NPP?
Well, I have not said so. If you add that one,
no,
these are your own words.
I'm asking.
These are your own words.
It's a simple question.
You understand? So people can deduce from his actions and inactions. So if my brother here can sit down here and defend the actions and inactions of Professor Mate, so be it. But another interesting thing, if Professor Mate is talking, it should be seen as the gospel truth. People run to him. I mean, he's a reverend father and all that, and so he has a right to say all these things. But if another person is speaking, because the person is not a moderator, we must look at the messenger and dismiss what the person is saying. Can you imagine? But because the person is not the moderator, let's look at the messenger. We should not look at, as for Professor Amate, it's okay because he's a moderator. But for the PRO, let's look at the.
Then again, if you're a PRO for an institution and you are dismissed for one or two reasons, really it brings up issues of credibility.
Well,
so for anybody to bring that up, that wouldn't be out of place.
I listened to the man audio. I listened to him.
Yes, we have that.
And he stated categorically the reason why he was dismissed. And he is happy that at the end of the day, this thing, Professor Mate himself is bringing it up.
Is it not? Just a second.
So if I like to ask your questions.
Is it not interesting that immediately after Reverend Mate speaks, this man pops up from nowhere just to make these claims?
So is it also not interesting that all of a sudden that Professor Mate is also going, he stands up and says that people are chasing to bribe him? That one is not interesting.
But he's been making series of comments to suggest that he's not impressed with how things.
So has he ever stated anywhere that we have been bribing him or we have attempted? Or
well, this is the first time we are hearing this.
Exactly. So there will be first time anywhere. He has not stated it sometime. Now the man himself is bringing the issue up. And the man has come to say that, look, it is true. I am daring Professor Mate, if this is not true, you should take the man on. That is what you're supposed to do.
You should sue him?
Of course. For defamation. If he thinks that what the man is saying is false and it's not true, I am challenging him that you should take the man on. If he ignores this or, he doesn't treat this as urgently as possible, then it means that whatever the man is saying is what gospel truth. Look, listen to what some of the things he said. He said that, look, I was the PRO of the church, and that anytime there's going to be a communique, we draft it and then we issue it. Do you understand? But at the point in time, this man brought him a script, which of course it was not the normal procedure. At another instance, this man took him to a leading member of a strong political party, opposition political party, and he indicated that it is not the ruling party, and that they offered them, that is Professor Mate and he himself, $100,000, and that is what Professor Mate stated, and that Professor Mate gave him 50,000 out of the 100,000, and he rejected. And right after the meeting,
so he's saying the professor took the money.
Yes, he took the money.
The professor says he never took the money.
He says he took it. So that is why I'm saying that he took the man on, plus VA that he was talking about. And he says after the meeting,
house at Trasaco.
Well, I didn't hear about the house.
Promise.
I
didn't the promise of a house at Trasaco.
I don't know about that, but I'm talking about what I heard. And then he said that a man who was part of the meeting subsequently called him to tell him that, look, what has happened and you have rejected, if you are not very careful. So he will advise him to resign. And that was where everything started. So if I were Professor Mate, that he claims he is an angel, he claims...
Yeah, he has not said that on any platform.
Oh, he's a purest among all that. He's even calling that we should disband other churches.
He hasn't in any way.
Haven't you heard him saying that we should even disband other churches?
He hasn't in any way suggested that. So I think we should just...
Please, let us be fair to the viewers. I have heard him say that.
I have not heard him say that.
I have heard him say that. Look, let's even go ahead and disband other churches.
I'm saying I have not heard him say that. So we can't...
Professor Mate is saying that, he's the purest of all, he should take the man on.
Okay.
He knows him.
The MPP is